I don't know about you, but I've been in a position before where I look at my bank account and I go, where did all of my money go? You see, in this video, I'm going to teach you guys exactly how I believe that you guys should budget your finances in a way that'll start your investment journey, your savings journey in a way similar to exactly how I budget my finances. You see, being rich, being wealthy, accruing an investment portfolio is not necessarily all about increasing your income. It's a large part of it. But I believe in the starting baby steps, the biggest part in order to starting this journey is understanding where your money is going. You see, there's a lot of people that have the ability to make an increased income that squander all their money away and end up being broke, not because they didn't have the income, but because they didn't know how to spend their money properly. They didn't know where their money was going. On the other hand, there's people that may not have that high of an income, but they understand exactly how to handle their money, so they are able to put at least a little bit away each month for their future. See, as of right now, 28% of Gen Z is living paycheck to paycheck, and 74% of Gen Z is currently living with less than 3 months of expenses saved away for themselves. As a young adult myself, it is a passion of mine in finance and business to be able to teach others exactly how to handle their finances in a way to start their investment journey, to start a journey of accruing wealth. I currently work as an advisor and a consultant for my dad's company, and so I've been seeing this for the last 10 years or so on exactly what it looks like on how to cut expenses, how to increase profits, how to do all this while maintaining a good product and customer relation. So with all that being said, let's get into it. There's this rule that a lot of advisors stick by, and it's the 50-30-20 rule. And what it stands for is that 50% of your income should be allocated to your bills and expenses. 30% of your income should be allocated towards your wants and fun stuff. And 20% of your income should be allocated towards debt repayment, savings, and investments. Now, for the short time that I've been in the business industry, there's one thing that I do know, and that is there are certain things that people care and don't care about. You see, some people would rather spend their time and money on being with their family and vacations. Some people would rather drive around a nice car. And some people, all they want is to live in a nice house. That is why I believe that this rule cannot apply to everybody. Maybe some, but not all. So that's why I will also be showing you guys exactly how I budget my finances to give you guys a good example. So feel free in this video to take what I am saying and adjust it to your own personal lifestyle, to your wants and needs. Also, feel free to leave any questions or comments down below in the comment section or send me a DM on my Instagram at Ruben Uzum. Now, for this first category, your bills and expenses. This 50% category means that your bills and expenses should not exceed 50% of your monthly income. This includes what I would call 2 subcategories: unnecessary and necessary expenses. That includes stuff like driving out a super fancy car. That includes your Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus subscription. That includes stuff like this that you can live without. Now, your necessary expenses. These are things like where you live and how you get to work. There are certain things that you need to have in order to live a decent life. So go ahead, get your bank statements, take your last 3 months and look through it and see exactly how much you're spending on all your subscriptions, on your car insurance, your car payment, things of that sort, your rent, your utilities, your food. Take it all into account, take your paycheck and see what percent that is of your paycheck. You might be surprised. Now, moving on to the second category, and that is the fun category, the wants. The category that everybody wants to be the largest. 30% of your income is allocated to your wants and entertainment. This includes stuff like going out to dinner, stuff like going out to the movies, clothes, shopping, getting a new phone. Stuff like that will be included in that wants category. This is the category where if the others can't fit, you have to cut this one down. So as much as we want this category to be larger, it's a category that we might need to slim down the most. You see a lot of gurus on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, they'll tell you that in this category, what you should do is you should cut out the coffee, cut out the pastries at Starbucks, cut those $5 expenses out of the way, because if you have 20 work days a month and $5 a cup of coffee and 12 months a year, and you add that all up, it's like $1,200 a year that you could save. I look at these people and I think that this $5 cup of coffee is not making me broke. This $5 cup of coffee is actually increasing my quality of living so I can work harder and better. You see, I can somehow find a way to make an extra $100 a month if I have my coffee. Okay, the $3, $5, $7 purchases that you're making is not making you broke. It's the $30 to $50 purchases that are making you broke. $30, it doesn't seem like a lot. You gas up your car for 50 bucks. You go in, you buy a hoodie for 30 bucks. You go in and you buy this for $50. And next thing you know, you spent $400 and you didn't even know about it. See, it's the $30 to $50 purchases that are really killing your income. When you go and your brand drops that new drop of clothing and you want that new sweatsuit from your favorite brand and it's $110 and you bought it, those are the things that are killing your income. Not the coffee, not the little Red Bull drink that you want to get every morning. That's not killing your income. The unnecessary $30 to $50 stuff is killing your income. So with that being said, do what you will with that information, adjust that to the way you live your lifestyle, and that's the category where you can really make some movement. Now, the category we've been waiting for, the 20% category. This is for debt repayment, savings, and investments. First things first, if you have any debt, high interest debt, I'm talking about credit card payments specifically, we're talking on average 26% a year on interest. That stuff will kill you. It'll put you deep in a hole. So make sure that any money left over goes towards repaying any old credit card payments first. Student loans next, car payments next, stuff like that. Now, if you're like me and you don't have a lot of debt, see, all I have is a car payment and I have a low interest rate on that. And so I don't really consider that a large interest rate debt. And so with that money left over that you have, that will go straight into your savings and investments. And that is what is going to build your future month over month, year over year. On to exactly how I budget my income. You see, my bills and expenses only really reach about 40 to 45% of my income. That includes my car payment, my rent, my utilities, my insurance, stuff like that. About 45%. Now for my wants and my fun stuff, my golfing, my clothes, stuff like that, I don't really splurge a lot here. That's about 25% of my income. See, I already have a little bit of wiggle room just on these two categories alone. Now, I am a man of faith and I do believe in tithing to your local church. And so I do give 10% of my income to my local church. So now I have 45, 25, and 10 here, leaving 20% left over for savings and investments. Now, this is where things get tricky. A lot of friends don't agree with me. A lot of people don't agree with me on this, but I allocate 0% of my income to a savings account. Savings accounts on average give you about 1 to 1.5% a year if it's even in a CD account. I can make much more than that on a simple ETF like the S&P 500, on average turning 8% a year. I would much rather put my money in something that was making me a lot more money than just a savings account. You see, we had a lot of inflation happen this last year, and if you had your money in a savings account, you actually lost out on about 20% of the value of your money, where if you had it in real estate and stocks or other healthy investments, that money would have moved with the market. Now, don't get me wrong, you should have some money set aside in case you get a flat tire or something of that sort. But if I ever need a lot of money soon, I can typically sell my stocks and have it within 5 days. So with that being said, I do allocate 20% of my income directly towards investments. That's stuff like ETFs, stocks, and even some cryptos. Now, in a future video, I'll show you guys exactly what investments that I partake in and exactly how I value certain ones. I'm just gonna give you guys a good example of how I do the things that I do. Now, with all that being said, take the 50-30-20 rule, take the way that I do my budgeting and apply it to yourself. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or message me on Instagram. With all that being said, see you guys next time.